Hey everyone, Danny here, and today I'm going to be talking about Shadow the Hedgehog. I've talked about it plenty of times before, many others have talked about it plenty of times before, but this is a bit different considering today, 20 years ago today, this game was released. So, celebrating its 20th anniversary. But what is there to say about this game that hasn't already been said plenty of times before? Well, not that much, but, I'm just doing it anyway. Shadow the Hedgehog, the game, was released on November 15th, 2005, again, 20 years ago today, and I got it that very next day. Yeah, where I lived, those types of games for some reason came in a day or two late, so I got it on November 16th, 2005. Anyway, the game was released to mixed reviews from critics and, well, also mixed reviews from audiences as well. So what do I think of the game? Well, anyone who's been here a while, you probably already know, but just in case, I'm going to save that for a little later. First, I'm going to start with my history with this game. All the way back in 2005, like a few months before the game came out, and I was still in 5th grade, a friend of mine was telling me about this game, and I was like, there's no way this is real. There's no way that there is a game starring Shadow using guns. Like, it sounded too awesome to be real, is what I was thinking back in the day. So, the very next day, my friend brings in his magazine where he learned about it, and he showed me the article. I can't remember which magazine it was, but it was showing off screenshots and artwork for the game. And I was like, oh, it is real. And then I was just really excited for it. Like, between the time of finishing up elementary school and going into middle school, and then, like, waiting, until November 15th, I was just like, I was looking at all the screenshots online, I was looking at all the videos online, which took forever to load because I had dial-up back in the day, and it was really, I was really excited. I was kind of envisioning the game as something like Ratchet and Clank, because I really like Ratchet and Clank, I still really like Ratchet and Clank, but I played it a lot back in the day, so I was thinking, like, it's going to be like Ratchet and Clank, but with Shadow the Hedgehog. It obviously didn't turn out to be that way, but, there's still guns and stuff you can use in the game. One thing I should mention about this game is that this was the very first video game I had ever pre-ordered. Like, I had no idea the concept of pre-ordering something and then getting it later, but I learned it through getting this game pre-ordered. Eventually, November 15th rolls around, which was meant to be the release date for Shadow the Hedgehog, and the game wasn't in yet. I don't know what the reason was. I don't know if it's because I lived in that certain part of Tennessee, but for some reason around that time, like the next few years, Sonic games would come in a day or two later, and I'm not really sure why that was. But needless to say, I was pretty upset. I was pretty bummed out. But the very next day, I was pretty excited because I got the game then. I had pre-ordered the GameCube copy of the game, and I still have that very same GameCube copy to this day. I know that GameCube discs have a rotting issue, but it still works even 20 years later for me, so I guess I've been taking good care of it. I've also played the game on both PS2 and Xbox, but I still have my GameCube copy, which is pretty much considered the best by fans. And you better believe I played the heck out of that game when I got it. I mean, I played it so much and didn't play any other games to the point where, like, I had forgotten what the disc looked like because I had played it so much and didn't take it out at all. It wasn't until Christmas of that year, whenever I got, well, Sonic Gems Collection, that I took it out. I was like, oh yeah, that's what the disc looks like. So, yeah, I was very much enjoying myself with it. And let me tell you, it was a bit surreal to be playing a Sonic game like that. I had played plenty of Sonic games before then, but this one, it was obviously darker and edgier, and it starred my favorite character in the Sonic franchise, which I know is completely unpopular. No one else has this opinion. It's not like he's the second most popular character in the whole franchise or anything. But anyway, it was really surreal. I mean, it was still a 3D platformer where you went really fast and collected rings and got to the goal, but there were also different missions, there were guns and other weapons, and I mean, not just like goofy, cartoony looking guns, but also like realistic looking guns. So that was pretty interesting to see. And there was swearing in the game. There was only like a couple of words in there, one of which they used a lot, but it was still really interesting to see all this and hear all this happening in a Sonic game. This was also the very first game I'd ever played that had branching pathways. as in whenever you did a certain mission, you'd go to a certain level depending on what mission you did. Now, this game's structure was not the greatest with that in terms of story, but it was a really interesting concept. And there are 326 ways to beat the game. You do have the basic pathways. You have the pure evil, the kinda evil, the neutral, the kinda hero, and pure hero ways. But you can kind of mix and match how you do that by doing the different missions, you know, in 326 different ways. I am pretty far from doing that, but I think I'm either halfway there or almost halfway there. It's not like I've played this game every day of my life. There are some years that I've gone without playing this game, but yeah, I'm definitely not nearly close to completing every single pathway. And there are 10 different final bosses. Like, each of the 6 final levels have 2 bosses each, again, depending on which mission you do. So, after you finish all 10 of those, you get the true final ending, which was apparently pretty controversial for a lot of people, but I didn't really care all that much. I felt pretty proud of myself because I got through all that almost all by myself. I think my brother helped out a little bit, but I got through a majority of it by myself, and I unlocked that final ending where you do one level with a countdown and then you fight the true form of Black Doom, Devil Doom. So that was pretty fun. So yeah, overall I had a really good time with this game, but what do I think of it today? Well, to give you a short answer, I think it's good. Like, just good. Like, I would say it's a 7 out of 10 game, or like a 70 out of 100 type game. So like a low 7, but still a 7, which is still good. As fun as this game is, it definitely has a lot of shortcomings that keep it from going any higher than a 7 out of 10. Like, some of the pathways, some of the missions you play are really annoying. Like, there's a lot of fun ones. A lot of ones I can get past, you know, it's fine. And then there are some that are just really annoying to deal with. And there are a few things here and there that I'm not a big fan of. But overall, I still like the game. I'm not really trying to review this game. I'm just trying to talk about my history with it. I just wanted to bring that up. Over the years, I've said the game is not very good, or it's just okay, or sometimes I say, hey, it's a pretty great game. Sometimes I'm like, go back to saying it's okay. But now, I pretty much cemented that, like I said, it's a 7 out of 10 game. But if you were online in the 2010s, let's just say that it was a pretty bad time to be a Sonic fan of anything outside of the Genesis games. And Shadow the Hedgehog was no exception. A lot of people acted like this game was one of the worst games ever made, and he had the classic lie of, no one asked for this. Even though, well, that's simply not true, both because if you look at the history of Sonic, there are a lot of people that were asking Sega to have Sonic use a gun. And Shadow the Hedgehog is a result of that and people really liking Shadow. And as for no one asking for it, again, yeah, I think the numbers say otherwise, considering it's gotten, on all 3 platforms, it's gotten Player's Choice on GameCube, Greatest Hits on PS2, and I think Platinum Hits on Xbox. I can't remember for sure, but I think that wouldn't surprise me if that was the case, so yeah, that's a lie in saying that no one asked for it. Now, as far as if they got what they wanted, that's the subjective part. But honestly, out of the people I've talked to personally, whether in person or online, they say they like this game. Not everyone has. Some people say they don't like it, but a lot of people I've talked to say they like this game. So it just really depends on who you talk to, and also the internet isn't full of everyone. These days, the Sonic franchise as a whole, including Shadow the Hedgehog, both the game and especially the character, are in a much better place. Well, anyway, that's kind of my history with Shadow the Hedgehog up to this point. I went from loving it when it first came out to kind of feeling mixed about it over the years, but now I feel like it's a good game. I was gonna do like a 20-year later review of this game, but I thought, I'll just talk about my history. Everyone else has already done a review. I've done a review 10 years ago, celebrating the 10th anniversary of this game. Where is the time gone? But anyway, I just wanted to make this short video here. But I hope you still enjoyed it, and remember to like this video if you did like it, and subscribe for more videos like this or any other types of videos that I make. Thank you so much for watching, and happy 20th anniversary to Shadow the Hedgehog. Have yourself a good day. Actually, before I go, I forgot to add this part earlier, but whenever I was a kid, I was excited for this to be the first ever T-rated Sonic game, and I was going to be the cool kid who got a T-rated game even though I wasn't a teen yet. But instead, we got the age-appropriate E10 rating, and I was 11, and I was older than 10. That was not cool. But, yeah, I understand marketing-wise why it was E10, but still kind of wish we would have gotten that T-rated Sonic game, but it is what it is. The PEGI version is, or the PAL version, has a PEGI rating of 12, so I guess that's close enough. Anyway, have a good day, folks.
Goodbye forever, Shadow the Hedgehog.